You're the killer." That's what I heard that 14-year-old girl shout, her finger shaking but steady, pointing right at the man in the black robe, Judge Sterling Harland. For a split second, the entire courtroom froze. I mean, literally, like the whole world forgot how to breathe, how to blink, how to move. The gavel slipped right out of his hand and hit the floor with this dull thud, and for that moment, you could feel every secret in Crestwood, every rumor, every buried lie, just hanging in the air, waiting to come crashing down. You know what I mean? Sometimes you think you've seen everything in life, but then a kid stands up and burns down the whole script. Nobody, and I mean nobody, expected Maya Thompson to say a word that day. 14, tiny for her age, hair pulled back so tight it looked like it hurt. The only person still alive after that fire that took her mom, her uncle, and two folks from next door. Crestwood had spent months smothered in grief, candles on every porch, casseroles dropped off at every doorstep, and people just waiting, praying for someone to pay. When Frank Weaver got arrested, the old handyman, rough hands, eyes like wet gravel, the kind of guy who knew every squeaky step in your house, well, folks figured that was justice done. There was DNA, gasoline on his boots, a money argument that seemed to give him motive. You know how small towns talk. So when Maya finally took the stand, everyone expected the usual. Nerves, tears, maybe a few mumbled words about that night. But right from the start, there was something electric about her, a charge, like the air right before a storm. She looked small in that big oak chair, feet barely touching the ground, but her eyes, those eyes were locked on one man and one man only, Judge Harland. She answered the lawyer's questions, shaky at first, but when the defense started grilling her, something in her snapped. She said she remembered the smoke, her mom screaming, and then this voice in the darkness, low, scratchy, familiar. It wasn't Frank Weaver, she said, and I swear the whole room shuddered. She described polished shoes, a black coat, silver cuff links, and a scar behind the left ear. And with her eyes boring straight into Harland, she said, just like yours. You could see the judge blink, just once, then try to act all business as usual. Excuse me, he said, voice cracking just a little. But Maya wasn't done. She stood up, hands trembling but head high, and told him again, loud enough for the world to hear, "You're the killer, Judge Harland. I saw you. I never forgot your voice." The room erupted. Reporters dropped their pens. The defense lawyer almost tripped over his own chair. Even Frank Weaver just sat there staring, like someone pulled the ground out from under him. That's when all hell broke loose. The bailiff tried to hush her. Her attorney was shouting. The prosecutor's face went ghost white, and the judge, usually colder than January, just stood there, red creeping up his neck. But Maya wouldn't back down. "You set that fire. I saw you." It was chaos, people yelling, press cameras popping, someone sobbing quietly in the back. Judge Harlan tried to threaten contempt, but Camille Rhodes, Maya's attorney, young, sharp, black woman, not from around here, stood up for her. "She just made a sworn accusation," Camille said, not a hint of fear in her voice. "I request a federal investigation and a recess." The jury was hustled out, the press swarmed in, and before you knew it, Maya and Camille were under protective custody. That night, Maya spilled everything to Camille. She'd seen the killer's face through the window, heard him say, "Sweet dreams, little mouse," before the flames took everything. It was the voice that haunted her, but those silver cuff links, the scar, it all clicked. Digging through old photos, Maya found one of her mother at some fundraiser years ago, Harlan's hand, a little too close, clutching her mother's waist. Camille got to work, and what she turned up was the kind of thing that makes your stomach turn. Years ago, Maya's mom had filed a complaint about a judge, harassment, threats, case sealed, covered up. Weeks later, her house burned. Harland himself ruled it an accident. Within 2 days, Camille took what she'd found to the feds. Suddenly, the courthouse was crawling with agents, the judge was told to step down, and Crestwood was front-page news everywhere. But then came the backlash. Harlan's old friends on TV called Maya hysterical, said she was a traumatized kid making up stories. But people in town started whispering, digging up old rumors. Why did the fire department say unusual accelerants? Why did nobody ever look at Harland? They raided his house, turned up old files, notes, and then, this is the kicker, a safe in his cabin out in the woods. Inside, silver cuff links, a half-melted wallet, and a locket Maya recognized immediately. Her mother's. Just like that, the dam burst. Camille showed it all live on TV. Harlan was arrested right there on camera. No robe, no gavel, just a sad, beaten old man trying to look brave. Maya saw it all and just sat quiet. No tears. Just the kind of silence that feels like thunder. Now, here's the twist, right? When the trial reopened, it was Harlan in the hot seat. And Maya, she stood taller this time, steadier. I was scared to speak, but if we don't, they win. And monsters like him keep hiding right in front of us. Camille didn't just bring the fire case. She dug up every skeleton Harlan tried to bury. Other victims, tampered evidence, families broken by his rulings. People started coming forward, women, neighbors, even a father whose son's killer walked free because of Harlan. The jury didn't take long. 2 hours, tops. Verdict: guilty on all counts: arson, murder, abuse of power, obstruction. The room exploded. Cheers, tears, hugs. Frank Weaver walked out a free man. First thing he did was hug Maya and tell her, "You saved us all, kid." The state launched a sweeping investigation into wrongful convictions, and Maya, she became something of a legend, her face on the news, honored at universities, human rights awards. Camille got offered a spot with the feds to keep fighting for justice. But Maya? She didn't want fame. She just went home, back to Crestwood, back to the place where she could finally sleep with the window open. As for Harlan, the mighty judge who ruled this town for decades, he spent his days staring at gray walls and listening to the echo of his own catchphrase, "Court is adjourned." But for once, justice was just getting started. Now, let me ask you this. What would you have done if you were in Maya's shoes? How many secrets do you think still hide behind those polished doors and ironed robes in your own town? Drop your thoughts below, because maybe it's time we all asked a little louder, who's really holding the gavel?